Well, we just finished up with Ross Barnett, our 4th elite stop. We're sitting in a hotel right now. It's absolutely brutal weather. It's actually the 4th day. I finished 17th, didn't make the top 12 cut, but they've canceled the 4th day. They're gonna go ahead on Monday and finish because there's tornadoes, just a ton of rain. The weather's really been an issue all week. The last night of practice, it rained a bunch and it really changed some of these creeks, especially when I was fishing. A lot of mud came out, even dirtier water. It was pretty dirty to start with. So the weather's had a huge effect, and the fish are also post-spawn. There's some up shallow, most of them are shallow, but some are on reeds, some are on pads. It was just fishing my butt off all week, and the setup I started with in the morning was a Project Z 3/8 ounce weedless chatterbait. I threw the weedless one most of the time. I threw the non-weedless, just the regular Project Z chatterbait in open water, but when I was around those pads, that weedless one allows you to fish it through all that stuff and still hooks them well. 3/8 ounce chartreuse and white, diesel minnow on the back of it was my setup every morning for the shad spawn. A lot of watercolor, wanted something pretty bright in the morning. The rod I threw it on was a new Megabass Destroyer rod. This is the Javelin F575, so 7'5" rod, fairly parabolic. You don't want to pull that bait out of their mouth, but you need some power to get them out of the pads still. 14-pound gamma edge fluorocarbon with that. Just went through those pads again around the shad in the morning. That was pretty hard to beat in terms of getting some quick bites in the morning. So I spent the midday portion of the tournament, after that morning flurry got done, I spent a lot of it with some sort of creature bait. This is a ZMAN Boar Hogz. I threw that a lot. I like something with a little bit of action like this when I was fishing along seawalls where I was swimming it more, or in the pads. Like I said, the fish were so scattered, you could just catch them on about anything. So I was changing up quite a bit. I stuck with dark colors for the most part. Between the wind and the rain and it being Ross Barnett, we had a lot of dirty water, so low light conditions, low light penetration made the dark colors work a lot better, but you're still flipping a foot of water. I like that little creature bait, and I wasn't getting a lot of bites, so I didn't want to move up to a jig or something bigger. You know, something like this creature bait gets a lot of bites. You kind of catch big ones, but you also catch some just keeper-sized fish on it too, which were important to have in this event. But I used both those techniques, all those techniques, on a Megabass Orochi XX flipping special, 7/9 flipping stick that would braid with a big weight, 16-pound fluorocarbon with a lighter weight, same rod. Had a lot of them rigged on the deck, and just kept flipping at everything that looked good. One thing, I caught a couple big fish on this week, and after I get a limit, even in the morning, conditions are overcast, kind of nasty, you feel like a big one's gonna bite, was a jig. I caught probably my 2 biggest fish, I think, over the 3 days on a 3/8 ounce tour level pitching jig, black and blue, ZMAN Batwingz trailer, pitching around seawalls and outside reeds in the morning. Again, when it was kind of nasty out and those fish would get outside those reeds, really just pitching it around, hopping it back to the boat. You didn't get many bites on it. It wasn't something I was willing to commit to throughout the day because I was worried I wouldn't even get 5 on it throughout the day. But when I got a bite, you didn't have to worry about measuring it or culling it later in the day. Like I said, a few of my bigger bites came on that 3/8 ounce Dirty Jigs tour level pitching jig, Batwingz trailer, lighter jig like that, dark color. I'm fishing 2 foot of water or less, so I don't want a real heavy jig. That lighter jig, a lot of bulk though, disturbs a lot of water. Those big fish bite a jig, that's no secret. It's just about getting enough bites on it. The rod I was throwing that jig on was the new Megabass Destroyer Valdivia, 7/6 flipping stick, 16-pound gamma line. It really has enough tip that I could skip this jig. A light jig like that's a little bit harder to skip, so I needed to get some speed on the bait. It has enough bend in the tip that I could load the rod, get some speed on the bait, skip it under overhanging trees, under docks, stuff like that, but still had the power to get those fish out of there. All this stuff's available at tacklewarehouse.com.